Johnson. Cole. Lawrence. Marshall. Steen. Mayor Buck. Just so you know, there is a new set of claims in front of you, just with the no briefing meeting and the break. We just wanted to make sure we had that up to date, and so not a lot of changes.
Carries. Visitors and timed items. This is an opportunity for anybody that would like to visit with the council on any particular item, whether it's on the agenda or not on the agenda, but I don't see any visitors. So we'll just move forward. Public hearing. First reading of ordinance 709, amending chapters 15-6-3 and chapter 15-6-11. Give us a real brief update.
So in the zoning code, in R3, the high density district, there is, as a conditional use, multifamily, 36 units and above. There is no corresponding single family attached, 36 or above. A project recently came in, one of our local developers is looking to do a pretty sizable townhouse development that would be over 36. As written now, there would be no way for us to approve that. Planning and zoning looked at it, thought it was more of a language oversight than intentionally that way. They reviewed it, recommended approval. The way the amendment works is it adds single family attached, 36 or more as a conditional use, so they would still have to come and get a permit and go over planning and zoning and explain it. And the difference with the lot and yard regulations, it as a 5 to 36, it's 3,000 square feet per unit, but if it goes down to, basically we treat the larger single family attached, 36 and above, as if it were a multifamily dwelling, not just for parking, but for signage, without treating them the same. Single family attached, you'd be able to have a sign for your unit, but not the development itself, and it just made more sense to treat it as multifamily, since it practically is, but is defined differently. So
Okay.
planning and zoning recommended approval.
I'll look for a motion.
I move to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve ordinance 709. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We don't have any old business, so we'll look at standing committee reports, starting with the golf course. A little wet out there the last couple of days. Still very busy though. I've heard very good comments about it.
Yeah, it's been busy. I talked to Andrew last week. The South Dakota Golf Association had one of their events out there the week before, and it went very well. Everybody was very pleased with the course.
It's all I've heard is very positive comments. So it goes to show what a lot of hard work and a little bit extra rain will do for you. Okay, Park and Rec, any issues with the park work report? Busy? Yeah. Okay. Public safety, the police report's on page 21 through 23. Chance to look that over. The inspection report is on 24 to 26. Any issues there? Everything looks pretty straightforward?
Yep, busy. Quite a few nuisance complaints are starting to come in, tall grass, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I see a little bit of that as I drive around town. All right. And we've got a camera system quote on 27 and 28. I'll look for a motion on that. Yep.
So if you recall, last year during capital improvement budget time, we talked about a citywide camera system. Right now, everybody kind of does their own thing, but one system for infrastructure, buildings, traffic safety, all that kind of stuff. So we've kind of taken the last 6 to 9 months to look into it. The system that's proposed on here is the same one the city of Sioux Falls uses. I believe Harrisburg uses it, and T is putting it in currently. So we did meet with Sioux Falls, talk it over with them, sent it out to admin and to the other departments to look at. Larry's got Raleigh involved in it because of his electrician as far as, doing some of the labor and work and things too. So, this is, the budget, it's a budgeted item, and this is the one the city we've elected to go with.
Covered
And
under the budget.
I think, Kevin's familiar with it as well, probably more so than me, actually.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the Milestone cameras. They're great cameras. They're very powerful cameras. I'm just wondering, Chief, with this quote, right, is that including storage of the video? Or
Yeah,
is
so
that
there's a
on top of
server
that?
on there. So the bulk of the first year is the system, the server, the software, some licensing. There is some cameras on there. The system itself will allow you to bring some existing cameras we already have into the system, so we wouldn't have to citywide necessarily buy all new cameras. But then each year, budget allowing, we would be able to add some. But anytime, anytime something's built, cameras could go into the system. So the system itself can handle 100 or more cameras probably, and, I don't think we have that many now, so. So it should be stable for quite a few years. And then, of course, if, the system could stay in place, even if there's not enough money to add a bunch new next year, the system would still be there and functional and operational with everything we have.
Yeah, just another pro-advocacy argument for this. Because the city of Sioux Falls and even the city of Harrisburg and the state of South Dakota to some extent uses the same camera system as well. So if something were to happen in Brandon or in Sioux Falls or someplace, right, and everybody's on the same camera system, the Metro Communications out there in the new building can have visibility into all of that, so they can see the bad guys going from here to here to here and kind of track those breadcrumbs along the way.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm very much a proponent of this Milestone project.
Perfect.
Is this cloud storage or is this server storage?
No, there's a server in the quote, so we'd have our own. And nobody would have access unless we gave them permission. So, no other entities can just access our cameras. But we could give permission to, say, Metro to be able to access it if there was a major event. And we could share it with other, agencies if there was an investigation or something going on. But no one would have access to it. It'd be on our server.
Okay. Any further discussion? I'll look for a motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the camera system quote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mayor, just one more thing under public safety. I have currently been working with Minnehaha County on the opioid settlement. A couple years ago, we started on those settlements and those agreements with that. We have received some money over the last 3 years. We have about $18,000 currently, and then we're just receiving money every year in that. So, Sioux Falls, City of Sioux Falls, Minnehaha County, I think there's one other one that are joint with something called the Link in Sioux Falls. So I'm kind of looking at that and just having our money go towards the Link. So I'm working with Karski with Minnehaha County Commission and seeing what we can do with that. So just something that will be up and coming,
Okay.
unless you have questions, Dave.
All right, good. Thank you. Administration? We have, resolution 23-24.
It adopts the 2026 or 2026 through 2025.
25 through 29.
Through 29, I'm getting ahead of myself. CIP plan, with all of the changes that were discussed during the CIP work sessions. Once again, it'll be reviewed again, about a year from now, in May of 25, for the 2026 through 2030 plan. So this just prioritizes the projects that are currently in the works, and those may change in future years. So
Okay.
right now, we're looking at for 2026 or 2025, we'd be looking at the Ironwood extension. And once this is approved, we'll start working on the whole special assessment process. Rushmore area phase 3 would be in the planning stages or design stage. City Hall would be in design stage. Pool lift station design, and then Park CIP for about $500,000 with their list.
Once we approve this, there's always opportunity to change things a little bit. I mean, if we,
You can, it's kind of tough mid-year, you know, because we're starting to work on the 2025 budget, which is based upon the CIP. So, you know, just as a reminder, capital projects, and I'll use street projects because they're the easiest. It's a 3-year project. It's very difficult to decide in, hey, June or July, let's design a street project for the next year. It's too compact if we want to hit the right bidding environment, which is December, January. So, things can be added or deleted as we go, but this is kind of the way the budget's set. So,
I'm just a little bit concerned that there may not be enough in that, Aspen Park. You know, we took a little tour, and to me, there's some other needs there that aren't in the plan currently. So
Correct.
my point is, can we amend that at some point, or is this the final say?
it can be amended. You know, the parks are recommended by the park committee, so that's where their $500,000 recommendation came from with their list of projects.
I'm talking primarily about the exit, the Ironwood.
Yeah, Ironwood's in there, and then we need to extend, Aspen Park Road at some point in time. You know, Ironwood won't be done until sometime in the summer of 2025. I wouldn't anticipate it would be done in time for, baseball, softball season, depending on the weather, as always.
Right.
You know, if it's an early spring and everything, and the bids are good, and it's dry, unlike this year, it might be done in a couple of months. But I wouldn't anticipate that it would be done in time for baseball, softball.
Okay,
So I guess I would have a couple questions. Well, first off, on the Ironwood, so this total, the 2.8 million, would that just be the city's cost? It doesn't include, or is that the whole project, including
That's the
the
whole
residents?
project.
Okay.
That's the whole project.
So, and maybe this is more of a Lisa question. The residents, that's, I guess, my biggest concern is how we're gonna get around the residents out there and the potential litigation, if there is any, due to this for their assessment.
Yeah, so I think it's an estimate, because we don't know if there's gonna be litigation, we don't know if they're gonna sell the land for a certain amount, if they're gonna challenge whether we can even take the land. So this would be I haven't had input into the litigation amount, so I don't know if I think that's appropriate or not. So, and special assessment, I mean, I don't know if we're trying to recover anything from them on that. That could be litigated to the extent that we're gonna say one of the property owners needs to come up with some money to put the road in as well, for a sidewalk or something.
And, you know, with special assessment projects, there's always public input, there's hearings, there's notices sent, there's a fairly high potential for litigation. So even after the project is done and we've divvied up the assessments and the city share for Aspen Park, the city share of the project may increase. increase in property value to the affected properties isn't justified, and they would then set aside some of those special assessments. And that's a whole process where there's appraisers involved. Both sides get to pick one, and then there's supposedly one neutral one, and they make their recommendation to the court.
So I guess that's my,
Hope it doesn't go that far.
yeah, you hope it doesn't go that far. But again, if we're trying to protect not only ourselves, but our citizens at the same time too, that maybe this is something we need to look at. If this is a high priority for us, Ironwood, you hate to set a precedent that, hey, the city's willing to maybe pay for this for the homeowners, but I feel like maybe there needs to be some sort of conversation with some of these homeowners ahead of time. So that way we're not like, hey,
And we have
No,
Yeah,
already.
We've had
There's-
those conversations a
There's
couple years
already,
ago.
been those conversations, and that's why once gets approved, we will start the special assessment process. So we can get through that process, we can get through those timelines, we can get through litigation timelines, and then we will get it out to bid and go. And if there's problems in between, then it will halt it.
so what's been their, the homeowners, what's their feedback?
I spoke with one, about a month ago. He'd heard rumblings that we were looking at Ironwood, and I said, yes, it would appear to be, one of the top priorities for next year's CIP.
They have come here before as
Yeah.
well and expressed, a couple years ago, their opinions, but that was a couple years ago as well.
I mean, nobody likes special assessments. It's a tax. So, we will work through based upon the new estimate, using the same percentages that we used prior for the private property owners as well as Aspen Park. And we'll split those out, we'll get those notices out to those property owners. There's a resolution of necessity, then there's a public hearing, we send out the notices. The property owners certainly have time to come in and talk to you, and if they think their assessment is wrong, either too high or too low, they can certainly discuss that with the council.
Okay,
And just another thing there, Harry. So I've got the same concern that Colin's got there, putting this assessment on the homeowners. In a previous life, I'd had a similar assessment on our home, and we hadn't paid it, obviously, by the time we had sold, and so we had to go and pay that out of our profit, right? So it is impacting to the homeowner. Previously, what was the estimated cost to these homeowners, roughly?
We'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I had it, but it's outdated, it's over 2 years old, so.
So
And we
we're
were
talking-
also looking at
It's
different.
over 2 years
Yeah.
old on the current estimate, so it needs to be updated, and that's something we'll work on as soon as we get this approved as well.
And we were also discussing the city taking on a certain share of it, and where the city lands with that may be subject to change as well.
Okay, all right.
these are all issues that we can debate as we go down the road. For right now, we need to decide on the CIP.
And we'll use the area assessment method, which I think was the last
Yeah,
assessment.
now we
looked
need
at,
to get it on the road.
which would include all of the acreage in Aspen Park to be assessed, or would be divided up using all of the acreage in Aspen Park. If we went by the linear front foot, the city would have 66 feet of
But-
property that'd be it. But we'll come back with the area assessment, that would pick up all of Aspen Park as a benefited property.
But to your question, I mean, this is an estimate. And all of these are estimates, so
And
it may be more, it might be less.
Right, and on a special assessment, you do wanna figure a high estimate, because once you go through the process, and if the bid is over, you're out, the city covers the rest.
Yep.
So you do wanna be higher on your estimate during a special assessment.
Okay, any other discussion?
Yeah, I guess I have one other one on the, city hall. So just trying to, maybe thinking creative here at the same time. Obviously, there's a few of us up here that maybe were on the building committee, city hall building committee, when we first thought about doing the lease to own. So the $500,000 that we're gonna use in 25 for the plans, the design plans. I mean, is there a way we can get creative on this? if we got if we're gonna go down the path of, hey, we've selected who the ultimate builder is there a way we can work with the builder on them, covering the costs on those, on these plans, and then but have a deal with them? And maybe that's again a Lisa question.
We can't select the builder until we get the plans ready to bid. And then we go through the bid process.
It's bid laws. You have to go out to bid. If we're gonna do it on our own, which I would suggest at this point.
The
So,
cost savings on the, long term is fairly significant. Yep, gotta have the plans.
You have to have the plans and you have to go out to bid.
so if we were just going to lease it and you were gonna have somebody else design and build, you could do that. But if we're gonna own it, then you're gonna need to, design it.
I guess that's my question is like, if we're budgeting 500,000 for design, can't we go to multiple builders and say, we want to build this, we're going to budget $500,000 for design. Can they include it in their bid process to us? So we have at least three.
You wouldn't be bidding apples to apples, because each one could come up with a different design.
Okay.
And then, somebody might, an easy one, someone might bid, hollow core doors, another one might bid solid core. And there may be a significant price difference that doesn't show up in the bid documents, because you don't have it.
And
So in
you,
order to get the same product bid, you have to have plans.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, we'll look for a motion on the capital improvement plan. Motion second to approve the resolution 23-24, the capital improvement plan. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we have a block party request.
Yep, the 700 and 800 blocks of Copper Avenue, all of the affected property owners have signed off on the application.
I'll look for a motion. Motion second to approve the block party request. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Street Department, we got the work report on page 45. The mill and overlay project. Tammy, where are we at on that? We got two change orders and a pay app.
Yes, so if you remember, we just did the Berkman Industrial Park for the mill and overlay, which is completed. When we bid that out, we weren't exactly sure what those costs were gonna be, so we had in the original budget to do some concrete repairs on some curb and sidewalk and that sort of thing. We bid out the sidewalk, but we didn't bid out the curbs. And then with the final pay app on this overlay project, we came in about $55,000 less than what I bid at. So we have some funds in there, to use. So we got together as city staff and came up with some priorities that we would like to still do this year. One of those projects is with this change order number 1. That would be doing a mill and overlay on Aspen Boulevard between McCarty Park Road and the bridge. That section of road is in pretty tough shape and it needs something. It would be a quick and dirty type of project where they come in and they just mill it and then do the overlay right away. So the road might be closed for a few hours here and there, but overall it should stay open for the majority of it. And they said that they'd get it done before school starts as well. So that's the first change order, which is just under 28,000. And the second change order would be to replace a bunch of the colored concrete crosswalks that are along Holly Boulevard. A lot of them are getting really cracked up and deteriorated to the point where we can't just fill it in with asphalt and hope that it gets us by another year. And with the core area reconstruction project, what we've been doing is just taking those crosswalks out and just putting in asphalt, which is a much cheaper option, and it seems to work just fine. We haven't heard any complaints about doing it that way. So to do that, it's about 36,000. So I would recommend that we have that pay app in there for the overlay project in the Berkman Industrial Park, and then we would add in 2 change orders, one to do Aspen Boulevard and to do the crosswalks along Holly.
Do we need to do these separately?
Yes.
Okay, we'll look for the change order number 1, page 46 to 47.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. B is change order number 2, 48 to 49. Look for a motion on that.
Move to approve.
Motion and second to approve, change order number 2. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then finally, the pay app number 1, page 50 to 52. I'll look for a motion on that.
Move to approve.
Motion and second to approve. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we've got the sweeping contract with the South Dakota Department of Transportation. Page 53 to 54. Tammy? Raleigh? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is the contract we've had with the state. It's pretty much the same thing. Every time we sweep, we usually sweep twice a year. They budget a little bit more money in there for the sweeping, just in case there's some extra, something happens where they got a bunch of floor dry down, like a hydraulic leak. We've had that in the past. But they just build it in, and then we just did a change order here not too long ago, canceled out what was not used in the last contract. So I believe this one's a 3-year contract. It does reflect our change in pricing of the truck and the operator and the sweeper, so should keep us on an even keel.
Okay, you recommend pass?
I do.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve this sweeping contract with the Department of Transportation. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Water and Sewer Department, the exit 406 pay application.
Just an update on that project, they did complete our utility work for that, so this isn't the final pay application, but next month should be.
Looks like it's going well out there, I mean, I guess.
Well, this week where it's rain every day. But yes,
I
it's
live
going
on
well.
Third. Don't be confused, I've noticed. Okay, I'll look for a motion on the pay app for the exit 406 project.
Move to approve.
Motion second to approve. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We don't have any new business, and I don't believe we have a need for an executive session. So I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.